Uh, I really didn't want to do this, but I'm like, traffic jam, I could set it up really quick. Share, do you see the link to the panel? And send it to Bless, because I really would like her to see this, because I know she likes seeing the mountains and different places that I go to. So that's why I like, I'm in Vegas, big deal. I have no one to share it with, talk about it with, point, show them. But if you have people, it makes it more fun for me if I can get some people to share it with. Hey, do you guys see the link above to click on, come up to the panel? Now, the last time I attempted this, I had no signal to do it, but I recorded a video coming through here once. That's when I yelled at those girls, "Hey, how you doing, darling? Bend over, I'll drive you to the dunes." Oh, crap. Hang on. I forgot to click on that. There we go.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Hello.
Wow, nice. A lot of traffic, you know.
Yeah.
What time? Yeah, what time is it right now in US?
Well, where I am, it's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Okay.
What time is it where you're at?
Oh, it's almost 6 a.m. in the morning.
6. So I'm in mountain time now. I'm not in Pacific. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the
Yeah.
same
Right now,
time zone as the Eastern time zone.
yeah. Right now, Blessed Life is preparing for her work because it's Friday here in the Philippines.
Yeah, but she really would like to see this, I'm sure. I mean, like,
Yeah.
who else could show it to her?
Oh,
Breaker
Gordon
one,
is here.
breaker
Hi,
one
Hello,
Gordon.
nine,
Gordon.
breaker 19, Arctic Wolf to Big Daddy Sean.
We got a water buffalo jackknife here on I-15 north of Vegas.
We need knives and forks pronto.
But I'm trying to blow my screen up. If y'all look at my screen and to the right is the Mandalay, that's where that dude supposedly had shot from the window down at the concert viewers over there. That's where that took place. When was that, Gordon? I know that, what was that, like 5
That
years
would have been
ago?
have to be like 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Oh, wow.
I just know I was still with my ex fiance when that happened.
No, that didn't work. I can't remember how the hell I did that. That ain't it.
Sean's having a brain fart.
Well, I'm trying to
Are you a
get.
small? Uh, okay, go on. I just want to ask: is Gordon? Are you also a trucker?
What's that?
Are you also a trucker? Are you a truck driver too?
No, I just watch truck
Okay.
driver. I just watch trucker movies on movies like
There we go.
The Bandit and the one with Clint Eastwood and the monkey.
Clint Eastwood. That's Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah,
The TV.
where the monkey
the-
fingered the.
He was an orangutan. You're probably thinking of the chimpanzee in the old TV show BJ and the Bear. His name
Yeah.
was Billy Joe McKay, but everybody made the jokes out the window. He was a owner operator from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He had a state of the art red truck and everything.
I love trucking movies, except for the horror ones like Overdrive.
Oh, and Joyride. That really ruined our reputation. That movie did.
Candy cane.
Well, when I'm in Wyoming, I screw around on the radio and do that. I did get a response once because they must have seen the movie too.
Was Joyride sort of like Maximum Overdrive?
Now, Maximum Overdrive kind of sucked in my book. Joyride was much better.
Was he a serial killer?
Oh yeah, Rusty Nail was, yeah.
Did they ever catch him?
No, He got burnt up in his truck over a cliff. There was a third part to it, and I think that's when that happened. But he supposedly
So,
survived.
so, so he might be just like the Michael Myers of trucking. You
Well,
can never fool
that third
him.
part was kind of funny. He had this girl prostitute tied
Same
up to the
thing.
front, of the trailer, where
Yeah.
from her chest up to the top of her head was above the trailer, and he went under a low bridge, just enough for him to pass through, but not her. It chopped, half her
Kind of
body
like
off.
the bridge that you're going through right now.
Yeah. And once he hit, you heard the splat, and he looks in the mirror. He goes, "Hey, look at that! You're halfway to the hospital." That was hilarious.
But yeah,
Gross, but it was hilarious.
you said that gave trucking a bad name, eh?
Yeah, the first one did, yes, because all these females were thinking that we're murderous bastards,
But it goes to show to the guys in that movie, be careful who you talk to. And don't mess with a horny trucker.
Well, for the most part, the majority of us are respectable. There are that
Yeah.
few that may overstep themselves like that, which
Yeah. But
You
it's
know.
rare. It's rare though, eh? Those kind of truckers are rare.
if you look to the left here, that's the Allegiant Stadium. That's where the Raiders play football.
Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan.
Yeah, it looks like a giant mixing bowl. I remember when they were building it. Every
They
time I
call
come
it the,
through here,
they call it the Death Star.
yeah, that's where WrestleMania is going to be held next year too.
No, it was already held there, wasn't it?
Nope, WrestleMania is going to be held in that stadium next year.
Right. That was Survivor Series.
Because I already I looked it up and was reading about it that it's going to be held there. I just passed where Kana lives. Okay, in that neighborhood
in
back
Vegas?
there.
She lives
Yeah,
in
she
Vegas.
lives. Yeah, she lives out here.
I thought she lives in Orlando, Florida, where all the other
She-
wrestlers are living.
She did. She did during the pandemic because they did all the filming out of the Amway Center during the pandemic, and they
But
didn't have a crowd.
I thought all the wrestlers live in Florida because it's closer to the workout center, like the.
But after the pandemic lifted, she moved out here.
Why'd she move to
And-
Vegas?
Yeah, she moved here to Vegas. Well, outside of Vegas. That's what I was hoping because I know SmackDown is in Louisville tomorrow at the Yum Center. She probably, usually leaves a day early. I was kind of hoping she would pass right by my rig going to the airport. I know she drives a gray Lexus, and I know she's from here because her car has Nevada plates on it.
Are you sure it was her car or was it a rental car?
It's her car. She has her own a YouTube channel called Kana Chan TV.
Yeah,
You'll see it. And you look
Yeah.
at where she lives. I mean, you're like, yep, that's Vegas or Henderson.
is there in Vegas? Is there like a high Asian population?
Oh yeah, yeah. See, when I learned that she was out here, I really typically don't like Vegas, but I started to enjoy it, and here's why. There's a big TA out by the racetrack north of here, right off of this interstate, and I'd park there, and I'd get a rental car, and I've been to a couple of Asian karaoke clubs that got that.
Hey, are you
Have a
close
stage area?
Are you close to the area where the world's famous silver and gold pawn shop is, where the Pawn Stars guys?
That's on the other side of the stadium here.
It is.
There you go. Take a look. Yep. Oh, Pink is going to put on a concert there. We're getting to get a good view of the stadium here.
Yeah, and is it near the hockey arena?
I'm not exactly sure.
Like, it has to be in that general area, eh? Like the sporting area. Like,
Here's my thought on it. Okay, just like the Cleveland Browns, the Browns name stayed in Cleveland. The Raider name should have stayed in Oakland. They should rename
Oakland
them.
will never get a team again. I don't think Oakland will ever get a team again.
I don't know why they moved out of Oakland. They sold out every game too.
The
They
stadium
just wanted
was,
to.
stadium
Well,
was
yeah,
shitty. The stadium was shitty, and the city wasn't going to help fund build a new stadium.
yeah. That was the only reason why they moved.
The
Because
Oakland
of
A's
that.
are moving to Vegas too.
No, I heard they were moving. The Salt Lake City's putting in a bid for them
But,
because Salt Lake
oh
is getting an NFL team, I think.
no,
Yeah,
they got an
or
NHL team.
NHL team. That's it.
Yeah, Salt Lake will never get an NFL team. I don't think the
There's
Mormons would like it.
there's the castle and a lot of the casinos along here.
Yeah, you know that's technically Clark County, isn't it? The
Yes.
strip area.
Yeah, this whole area is in Clark County.
Las Vegas is actually the residential part, isn't it?
I'm not sure how they run that.
Because there's a high Mormon population in Las Vegas.
There is.
I
I
don't
know
know
there
why,
is in Salt Lake. Yeah, there's Mormons all over the place in Salt Lake.
but I don't know why there would be a high Mormon population in Las Vegas. That's Sin City.
Oh
Oh
shoot!
well.
I thought there was somebody in the background. Because I when I see the red dot up, I click on it, see who's waiting in the background. If you were there, I'm sorry I missed you. And I rely on my co-host to read the chat for me because I can't read that. I can't read the chat.
But yeah, you got an amazing job. Have you ever tried being a train engineer, driving trains around?
No, but one of my uncles did. He was a engineer.
Are engineers basically truckers but on rails?
Yep, basically.
It's basically a locomotive is just basically a big rig.
Yeah. You see the Mirage? Well, there's the Caesar's Palace right there, the big buildings. And then,
Yeah.
well, it's going to get blocked out of the way by part of Caesar's Palace here, but wait till I get up from under this bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time
Caesar's
every
Palace.
time I see something on Facebook, like if you made it to your table, think a trucker. Well, what about train engineers? Like they make sure they go to the distribution area where truckers can distribute stuff.
Shin Lim, he was a very good magician playing at the Mirage. And, well, fuck, man, there's the Trump Plaza right over there.
You mean Trump Plaza?
Yeah, one of Trump's hotels is right over there.
Why would Trump want to have something in Vegas? Isn't he rich enough?
He's got one. Yeah, he's got one in Makati.
Yeah,
In
in
the
Makati, he has a building there. Trump, he has also a business here in the Philippines.
Didn't New York take back the Trump Tower in New York, and they took the Trump name off of it?
No, if you don't pay up the 438 mil, they'll start seizing his assets. Yes.
I thought they already did that. I thought they already took Trump Tower back.
Well, anyway,
or is it just the people in the city wanted it to happen like that? Like, hey, take his name off the building. He's a disgrace.
Yeah, when Duterte was president of the Philippines, that's when Trump was insulting the Philippines, calling it a shithole and everything. And I was like, Duterte, seize his property and strip his name off that building. He's insulting your country.
Yep.
I said, I would have made him my bitch. I said, now who's the bitch?
Yep.
Go to international court. They're not going to do anything. This is our territory.
Hey, you were an invited guest and we thought you were cool, but now you dissed us? You ain't cool no more, so goodbye.
Yeah, let me tell you about the Philippines. Your social well-being is most important, and You step out of line, you can be ruined socially there because especially the Filipinos, they'll look at you like, if he's talking and treating people that way, he can treat me like that, and that's why they'll avoid you.
Now, if you're
Cher,
nice
you're still here.
now if you're nice and
Yes,
kind,
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm right,
just
ain't I? Your social,
Mhm.
reputation is very important, or you're
yes.
dead.
now
Here in the Philippines, the most important is our reputation. If your reputation was ruined, no one will listen to you anymore.
is there any way to redeem yourself?
If you're lucky,
Because this,
it's rare.
Depends on
the
the
problem from the
severity,
Philippines.
and depends on the
Yeah,
severity of the sin. Eh?
Yeah, if you were in Japan and you were going to commit seppuku, that would impress them.
But they don't
I'm
do that no more.
sharing. Yeah, I'm sharing your life, okay, to blessed family and also to
Uh,
blessed life.
well, at least you can go back and watch the replay because I rarely come through here, and I've taken, especially Bus Life, I've taken through her many estates, and she don't realize it. Whenever I was up on her panel
Hmm.
or whatever,
Do you ever truck up to Canada?
yeah, it's the last time I was in Canada was when I met Darren Dobson, and that was over 2 years ago. And I'm like, I'm long overdue to come up there. I usually go, 2 or 3 times a year, but it was like I didn't go
You
up there
ever
anymore. It was like
you
this
ever
is
do?
ridiculous.
Did you ever come to Alberta?
Alberta, oh yeah, I've been up there 3 times to the Walmart DC on the north side of Calgary.
Yeah. What do you think of Alberta? Like, even though you just made it like to the just southern parts.
I like it. It kind of reminds me of our plain states. Like it reminds me of Nebraska.
Well,
Before
it is the
you get
prairies. We are
well,
the prairies.
you get to the west side, you're in the mountains.
Yeah, but most of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, we're the prairies.
But I drove through the prairie. It can be very, very windy through there.
And flat. Hey, there's a joke in Saskatchewan that it's so flat in Saskatchewan you could see your girlfriend walk out on you 2 years later.
Oh, by the way, Sheer Gordon comes from
Yes.
Turtle's channel. Gordon comes from Turtle's channel. That's where I met him.
She
Oh,
knows
yeah, you're
what's
from
going
Turtle's
on.
channel. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
from USA too? Are you from
I'm
USA?
Canadian.
Are
I'm
you
Canadian.
Canadian.
Canadian? Nice meeting you. Well, where are you from in Canada?
Grand Prairie.
Ah,
That's in
okay.
Alberta. It's in Alberta. He lives on the
Yeah.
opposite side of the country to Darren. Darren lives in Toronto.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Gordon
And
Powers. Okay.
and in Toronto, some people pronounce it the proper way. Some people, like me, hockey fans, we pronounce it Tirana.
That kind of like gives it like a southern, like our southern
Well,
states
in a way, Toronto is
accent.
southern. It Toronto does reach California. If you draw a line from California to Ontario, it'd be a straight line. Ontario is the most southern province in Canada right now. Yeah, we were going to have Jamaica as a province. Jamaica wanted to be a province. Could you imagine Canada having its own little Hawaii, but Jamaica like, in the Atlantic instead of the Pacific? Imagine a Jamaican hockey
Hey,
team.
driver, your radio needs
Pasty
work.
Puckman. Could you imagine a Jamaican hockey team? Pasty Puckman. One girl, let's get together and win the Stanley Cup.
But see, I go to whenever I was debating on shutting down here for the night, but it's going to be useless because I know she's going. She's either on a plane right now, or she's already there. She usually arrives a day early before a SmackDown event.
Unless she's kayfabed injured and she just stays in town.
Oh, she's not injured.
She's kayfabed injured. She's kayfabed injured.
Oh, well, all I know is I'm sick and tired of them taking the titles away from their top talent. I said, in Japan, none of them girls would be able to take Kana. No way. I tell you what, she makes them look good, though.
I wouldn't say that. I've seen a female from Japan. She looks like she could handle her own.
Oh, the girls from Japan, yeah, they're good. But Kana has made a lot of people look good and put them over. Because when they made her lose, I always said the same thing, bullshit, and then I would turn it off. I only watched it for her when she was wrestling. That was it.
You only like Asuka?
Yeah, because I actually met her before she became famous. I even told Barry when I saw it, I'm like, Barry, this is a big kick in the nuts, you know that? And he goes, hey, they're your nuts, not mine.
On TV, they look like they're so small, but are they pretty good sized women from Japan, like the wrestlers?
Kana comes up to the middle of my chest.
And
I'm a giant. I'm a giant to her.
But she's a good sized wrestler, right? Like for a woman?
She stands 5'3".
Jade Cargill is 6 foot.
I'm 6'5".
And Nia Jax is 6'1".
She's the same height as my sister Brenda.
You know who Nia Jax is, don't you?
Oh yeah, a big ass woman. She's got a beautiful face, but she's got big ass.
She's The Rock's cousin.
So she is related to Rikishi?
No, Rock. You know, if you.
Well, yeah, but all of them are related.
I'm pretty sure all the Samoans are related, except for Samoa Joe. He's not related to the Samoan dynasty.
You got to be freaking kidding me.
Samoa Joe's just a one-off away from the big family. Even Snuka is related to The Rock and the Samoans, even though he's from Fiji, not Samoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
Yeah, I remember him. That's my era there when I watched it.
Hogan.
But when I was in Japan in 2015, me and Barry, we're going to make a stop in Japan and visit my brother because his brother was married to a Japanese national and he was retired. So they moved back to Japan and took care of her elderly parents. We stopped in there and Barry goes, let's go watch wrestling. I thought we were going to go watch, those big sumo wrestlers fight, Oh, no, it was JWP, and I guess it was the Star. Yeah, and it was also the other popular one they got, Star something. Stardom? Yeah, Stardom. Yeah,
that's for all the females go.
Yeah, and we had front row. We were only a matter of 3 feet to the ring. All right.
Go ahead.
Do what? I stand up, and when they come out and everything, and I'm towering over everybody. Okay, I'm like Godzilla at this place.
You're Andre the freaking Giant.
They come down and they some of them will go around the ring and slap hands, but that was the girl I can't remember the girl that Kana wrestled, but then Kana came down, and as soon as she came around the ring, it was like, who is this woman? And then when she got close to me and she looked right up at me, like she was amazed how tall I was, it was like an unseen force just hit me, and Barry grabbed me because he said, you're teetering like you're about ready to fall. Are you okay, mate? I'm like, Barry, who is that? He goes, I don't know. I said, you brought me here. And they were wrestling, but a lot of them thought that I was a professional wrestler from the West, from America.
So they thought you were a plant. They thought you were a plant.
And I had the long hair, I had it all, and I'm just having a good time. And they were trying to make me a part of things. Okay, I don't know if it was a miscue or something, but Kana gave the girl a shining wizard, but she was going so fast she slid out of the ring and landed on the floor in front of me. And then she turned, looked, and then you know they kept looking over at me, and I kept doing look at my screen. I kept doing this to her. What that means
Yeah.
in Japanese culture is, would you like to go for a drink? She smiled at me twice when I did it. I kept doing it. And she was climbing up to the ring, and the girl got up and then bounced off the ropes and was going to hit Kana. I don't know if it was a miscue or whatnot, but Kana grabbed the top rope to pull herself up, and she comes spinning over the top rope and was coming at me. I caught her in midair. It was just like catching a sack of potatoes.
But you got to touch Kana.
No, it wasn't Kana. It was who she was wrestling.
It was her opponent.
Yes. And I caught her in midair. This girl would have got hurt. Okay. When I look at these Japanese girls, they look very fragile to me. I caught her in midair. It was like a sack of potatoes. She's lucky to weigh 100 pounds soaking wet. When I caught her, the crowd was like, hey, they're all clapping. And I'm looking around like, and the girl goes, she was laughing and she said, "You can put me down now." I'm like, "Oh, you speak English." So I said, I set her down. As soon as I set her down, she goes back into character and has this attitude, and she pushes me twice against my chest. I thought she was going to hit me. I was going to play along, but I thought she was going to hit me. She was yelling at me in Japanese and everything, and I stuck my hands up like, hey.
So she was the heel, and Kana was the face, and
I don't know who the heel was.
She would have been a heel if she was pushing you. Like a baby face wouldn't push a fan.
I mean, they both seem like a baby face to me, but when I caught her and she was laughing and she said, "You can put me down now." When I set her down,
Then
she went
after you
back
put her down,
into
she
character.
went to heel mode. She went to heel mode.
Yeah. She went back into character, is what it is. Now, at the end of the event, here.
Yeah, you froze.
And the crew.
Yeah, you're going into non-cell signal area.
There we go. Yeah, well, I'm north of Vegas. I'm coming up to the Petro. I was going to stop in there and use the restroom, but we sat and waited, and the wrestlers came down really quick, and they were all girls. And the one that I caught, I guess she was the translator. She spoke fluent English, and she goes, "Thanks for catching me." I said, "That's okay." I said, "I thought you were going to hit me." She goes, "I thought about it, but I was like, I better not because wouldn't want you to sue me." I said, "No, I wouldn't have done that. I would have played along." And they like, "Are you a professional wrestler?" I'm like, "No, I played professional hockey." And not in the NHL. I played 2A minors.
Not the AHL either? Yeah.
East Coast Hockey League, Dayton Bombers.
Is that where slap shots? Like, was that East Coast Hockey League? Like with the
No. That was the Federal League. That was made up. It was the Federal League. It was made up for the movie.
I thought it was like a precursor to the ECHL.
No. Everybody would think that. Well, there is the team, the Charlestown Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't true. The East Coast Hockey League team called the Chiefs from Pennsylvania was the Johnstown Chiefs. That they did adopt from the movie, which is kind of cool. I think they still
logo,
exist.
same colors? Same logo, same colors?
No. Not the same logo and same colors, no.
That'd be cool, though.
Oh, yeah. But they came down and I'm like, where's Kana? And the girl I caught, she goes, and they all reacted. They were like, "Oh," like that. Oh, the girls will do that over in Japan. Oh, they all act the same way. Oh, at the same time. You like Kana? I'm like, I'm like to know who she is. And she goes, I kept seeing you signal to her to ask her for a drink. I said, yeah, I would like to buy her dinner too. And she, oh, there she is now. She was coming down. She made it halfway. She looked over at us, was smiling
until an
from the
agent.
back of the room. She got stopped halfway, got excited, and ran back to the dressing room. I believe it was that night she was in negotiations to come to the WWE. That's what I'm guessing.
So she probably just got that phone call, or the backstage agent passed her that message. And
I'm like, she'll always.
There's agents for each wrestler that handles the wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
They call them agents, but it's basically like a handler, like it, so they don't get into trouble backstage.
Yeah. The only difference was her hair wasn't red and blue like it is now. It was one color, and it was like an auburn color, and it was short. And she didn't paint her face, but she wore the same outfit she normally would wear, but it was all one color. It was blue and red that night. That's why Barry calls me up a few months later, turn on wrestling. And I did. And he goes, you see that girl? And I'm looking, I'm like, Barry, isn't that the girl? He goes, yep, that's her. I'm like, I'll be damned. Anyway, her full name is Kanako Yuri. That'll always be the woman that got away. All I wanted was that.
Her, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was, every country has their cupids. We have ours, which is the baby in a diaper and the bow and arrow. Well, over in Japan, they're totally different. I got shot by a bunch of ninjas and sumo wrestlers, about 12 of them. It was really overwhelming when she came around. I was like, boom, who is this woman?
Kana is Koi. Kana is a Koi. She's a cutie.
Yeah, but it's just the essence of being around. It was like, boom. It's like, ooh, who is this woman?
Would it be like me being around Kiss? Like, holy shit.
Well, see, you know who Kiss is. I didn't know who she was. I just knew her as a woman that was performing. And
she was attractive.
Yeah, well, they all were. But none of them... I've only had this happen to me one other time where a woman was able to do that. Like I just got hit by a haymaker just by them.
It's like that rat. It's like that rat song. You struck by lightning. You're in love.
Yeah, I was like, who is this woman? I wanted to know everything about her too.
Yeah. But apparently she has a boyfriend.
Who? She's very secretive about it.
She when she does the Kana Chang TV thing on YouTube, she has a camera guy dressed as a pig, like with a pig mask and stuff like that. And apparently that's her boyfriend.
Oh, really? Because I know her twin sister was doing it.
But did you know Kana was also in Japanese porn?
Really?
Yeah.
That would surprise
me. It was not hardcore porn like you see on Pornhub and stuff. It was more like erotica, not really porn, but it was more of erotica. Like she posed naked. It would have been like their version of Playboy. She posed nude and stuff like that.
That would surprise me. Maybe when she was younger.
And she did take part in an all-nude female wrestling organization where they actually wrestle, but in the nude.
Uh-huh.
Apparently in Japan, they like it freaky over there.
I kind of like, probably so, but I always tried to remain respectable. Yeah. And I was always worried about inadvertently insulting somebody and not know that I'm doing it. That's why I watched what I didn't. I tried to keep my hands down and didn't talk with my hands or point or anything like that. I kept my hands down and, because if you do something with your hands and make a symbol, it may be innocent to us, but it could be insulting to them and I not know it. That's why I really watched my behavior when I went over there until I got to know the culture. Like, oh, you're okay from doing that, like I did with my fingers and wanted to take her to a drink.
Basically, you were going in like a guest in someone's house. you're trying to be respectable, then they say, "Oh yeah, just relax, make yourself at home." Then you could start to relax more.
Uh-huh.
Is that the way you were
Uh-huh.
thinking? Like
Uh-huh.
be very formal at the beginning. Then if they say, relax a little, then you could
But
start relaxing.
because of the funky hairdo that she has, I believe her tag partner, Kiri is her name.
Kira saying,
Yeah, I believe she was a part of the crowd that came down to see me
yeah.
because the same girl had the same type of hairstyle as her, and I'm like, I know there ain't two Japanese girls with the same hairstyle like that. I believe she
And
was one of them, but I didn't have a
she
clue who she was either.
Kira saying is the pirate.
She wasn't a pirate that night, but they all wore these elaborate outfits and everything.
Yeah,
But I
but yeah,
remember one of them asked me, he goes, "Do you like Japanese women?" I said, "Oh, you speak English too." She wasn't fluent, but she spoke a little bit. I said, and the other girl was translating it, what I was saying, and I looked at her.
yeah.
I said, "Oh yeah, I've always been attracted to Japanese women." He goes, "But there's only one problem." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "You guys won't date Godzilla," and they all laughed. I mean, I
Um,
felt like I was talking to a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old girls because these women are tiny to me.
have you seen the movie Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck and when he went to
Hmm.
Japan and fell in love with a Japanese girl?
Yeah,
He was a
it's like,
giant compared to the Japs.
yeah. Well, I'm just surprised that they wouldn't be scared of me and run away. They weren't.
Because they've probably seen people like you. Because North American wrestlers go to Japan too to hone in on their skills. Like in New Japan,
Well,
there's a bunch of American wrestlers and Canadian wrestlers.
yeah, the girl's opponent. I cannot remember the girl's name to save my life, but she told me. She goes, I think you would have got hurt by catching me like that. I'm like, no, it was like catching a sack of potatoes. She goes,
And
I felt like I landed on.
but she wasn't going full speed though.
She was spinning, and this was about 8 to 10 feet coming at me, and I caught her, and she says it felt like I landed on a pillow.
Maybe they
I'm
were
like,
looking.
I'm a bit mushy.
Maybe they were smiling at you because they could have used a little extra ring padding around the ring. So they say, "Hey, buddy, lie down. Be the ring padding."
Uh-huh. But
You would have done
no,
it. You would have done it, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Yes.
I believe this. I believe if Kana had not been stopped and she came down to talk to me, I believe I've been able to talk to her and took her out to dinner that night with her and her friends or whatever. She wouldn't have done it alone because Asians won't do that. Asian girls will not meet you on the first date alone. They always have a
And she's a
chaperone.
celebrity. She's a celebrity back in Japan. So it would
Well, I
be
didn't
like
see it that way.
no. In Japan, she was a celebrity.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I thought it was, small time wrestling. I didn't think that she was an idol or anything like that.
But no, like she also develops video games, and she's a rock star too. Like I think she plays music on the side.
That would be interesting. But that's why I go to the karaoke clubs here that have an Asian clientele. I've been to two of them. They're excellent. And I'm like, maybe one day if I'm lucky enough, I come here, she'll show up. Anyway, one time I had bought tickets specifically in the front corner where they come out by the front of the ring. I paid for 2 tickets, and I was going by myself just to do one thing. I was going to stand there, and when Kana came out, I was going to give her that same hand signal and be like, "You remember me?" I had bought those tickets strictly just to do that. I can care less about anything else, just to see if she would have remembered me. But that was when they closed the TA in downtown Nashville, because that's where the event was at that time. It was at the Bridgestone Center. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get anywhere parked anywhere near Nashville. And I didn't know they closed that TA down permanently and they're going to bulldoze it.
Yeah.
So I got screwed out of going to that. And I was like, oh, man.
Do you like Japanese metal?
Baby metal, yeah. Give me a minute. I'm gonna take a whiz.
There's also a band called Love Bites.
Love bites. Huh? Mostly, I in Nashville, I would go to Wannabes. It's the biggest karaoke club they got there. That's what I
Okay.
was going to do after the
Yeah.
event.
Go
But
take your leak. Go take your leak. Go take your
yeah,
leak.
I'm going to get a coffee. Share, talk to Gordon for me, would you?
If she wants to. She, are you there?
I'm still here, Sean.
Sean had to go pee pee.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah.
It's me, Gordon.
Sorry. Yeah. Hello, Gordon. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I have relatives. I have also relatives in Canada. I think also from Toronto, but they are teachers. They're Filipinos. They're just
Yeah.
migrated there. Hmm.
I've met some Filipinos and Filipinas up here in Canada.
Okay.
They're pretty cool people.
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
is.
I always think the Philippines is like the Mexico of Asia because you got more of a Spanish influence than
Oh yeah.
Asian influence.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, uh, we are conquered by the Spaniards long time ago. But the first foreigner who came here is the Chinese. So when the Spaniards came to the Philippines, they saw already this group of Chinese who was living in the river, because mostly those Chinese, they live in the in the boat. It's
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's like a boat house, you know. They live there.
yeah.
But since
I'm
this
saying,
Chinese brings a lot of money, what?
but I'm saying culturally, you guys are like the Mexico of Asia.
Yes, yes, we are,
You
and we
speak
are
you
friendly, you
speak
know.
you speak Spanish, or can you speak Spanish?
Actually, some of no, I our words are mixed only Spanish, but majority is Tagalog. I can understand only a little, but not so much.
Yeah, because Batista is a Spanish or Italian name, but it's also a common name in the Philippines, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, Batista is his father is from Angeles, Pampanga. So his father is Kapampangan.
No,
They have a different word there.
yeah, I'm just talking about the name itself. Like Batista is basically a Filipino name, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Or
Actually, it was Bautista, but it turns out to be Batista. You know.
it, yeah, it's got basically Spanish Italian roots.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. And do you and in the Philippines it's mostly Catholic there too, like Mexico.
Not so much, because we have another language here. I mean
Muslim?
another no another group of religious group. We have Iglesia ni Cristo, which is
Islam?
Iglesia ni Cristo. Yeah, yeah. Iglesia ni Cristo is a Church of Christ, but it was run by a Filipino guy who passed away with the name of Iranio Manalo, and they believe that Jesus Christ is only a spirit. You know why? Because long time ago I was out of curiosity. I tried to to join in that group, but unfortunately I don't like it. That's the way they believe.
Are you
And
still
the
are you
second
still currently
what?
in the Philippines? Are you still currently in the Philippines, or are you stateside?
I'm here. I'm here from the Philippines. I'm here in the Philippines.
So you're still currently in the Philippines.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And your country is the only country that I know that says the, like the Philippines. You can't call Canada the Canada or the
Hmm.
England or like you're the
Yeah.
Philip. Like
Actually, the reason why they put it the Philippines, because seriously, our country, our real name of our country is Maharlika. But when it was discovered by the Philippines, the Spaniards changed our country's name. It turns out to be the name of King Philip, King Philip I. It turns out to be
yeah.
Pilipinas. Yeah, and turns it to Philippines.
Did they try to change you guys like the like in North America the whites try to change the natives? Did they ever try to change you guys? Like
Oh yes, there's a lot of changes because majority of us we have our costume, which is like a Muslim, and our religion before is Muslim, and also Anito. Anito is
well,
just like with
I mean
worshiping sun and moon, huh?
do you still retain your native language or like
Actually, our language are mixed now. Mixed.
but is there
It was
but do
changed.
you like is there a group of indigenous Filipinos that still speak the native language instead of
Oh
like
yes, yes. If you come to the Philippines, we have at least 17 languages.
right? And English is one of them, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. English is our second language, but our main language is Tagalog or Filipino.
Oh, Cher, I was in
Yes,
Turtles. I was in Turtles live stream last night and discovered
yes.
that I don't know if I got his name right. Gordon, you might have to help me. Is it Coda?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Coda is a graduate of fine arts also. And I said, you need to
Oh,
talk with
really?
Cher. Yeah, and I told him, when you do a live stream, yeah, she does live art.
Yeah. The only word I know in from the Philippines, sure, is aking
Mhm.
kanalan.
Yeah, akin ka na lang. That means you are mine.
And
Ooh,
or set
we'd use that
among
on.
playing that song.
Say that again.
Salamat means thank you.
Yeah, salamat po. What? But say that again. What you said? In Tagalog.
Aking kanalan.
I need to say that to Blessed.
Because
Oops, she
but
might say this.
it was a song I was the only reason I know that is because it was a song that a famous Filipina singer sang. Her name is Morissette Amon.
Ah, yeah, Morissette Aman, yeah.
She sang Aking Kanalang and stuff like that. And she has a good
Ah,
whistle right
that means akin ka na lang, akin ka na lang. Yeah, it's a very high tuna song.
It's a love song, isn't it?
Yes, it's a love song, and it's like a very high tune song by originally that song was sung by I think that the name of this lady is I another singer, but
Morissette made it famous.
she
Though.
Uh,
what?
uh,
Morissette made it famous.
Yes, yes. Hmm.
But Gordon, that night when I was talking to Barry on the phone about when he told me to turn on wrestling, and he goes, "Man, you need to go back to Japan." I said, "She's probably not there anymore." I said, "Now my chances of ever really meeting her is about as good as a one-legged man winning an ass kicking contest."
It could happen.
That's what I was hoping every time I come to Vegas. Maybe I'll run into her by some
Maybe
weird
that's her.
weird
Maybe
luck
that's her.
because
Maybe she just
me,
drove by you. Yeah.
yeah, well, I know she's got a gray Lexus, and I didn't see one. Believe me, I was looking too.
Are you stalking her?
No, I would never do that. I'm just trying to put myself in a position that accidents do happen, and usually with me, yes. My mom called me an accident waiting to happen. That was my nickname. Um, that's why I'd
By
go
the
to
way,
clubs.
I put a link to the YouTube part of your chat to Love Bites. It's an all-female Japanese metal band.
Oh, really?
It's
You
like
should hear me.
Shoya. It's like Shoya, but a little harder.
Uh,
Hello,
well,
Yeah.
Kyle. Kyle is here.
yeah, Gordon, I know a lot of people on Turtles don't take it seriously. That's why when I did the karaoke, I was wanting to shine Turtle onto karaoke and tell her what to get, and she could do the same thing I'm doing. Cheers the same way,
Yeah.
and so a lot of other Asians. But I was trying to get her to join because since she likes music so much. But I didn't want to do a serious song because of a lot of the people she had on the panel, except that, and especially that weird dude with the long hair that won't shut up. Um,
Keys. Keys.
that's why I did the parody.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
how far is Las Vegas from Area 51?
I'd say at least 150, 200 miles
North or west?
north. I'm facing it right now, but a few hundred miles. There you go. You can see me now. I got to move this freaking construction cone out of the way.
You could have just done it.
Wow,
with
Sean, you're so big.
Well, it's right in the middle of the road.
Oh, by the way, Gordon, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Oh, 5'11". Oh, this one is 6 feet and 5 inches tall. Sean.
Too tall.
Hey, are you guys Are you both on Facebook? Because if you want, you could add me.
I'm on the Messenger only. I got banned from Facebook about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm just saying.
What is your Facebook? What is your Facebook? I'll add you.
I'm Gord Andrew.
Gordon, you see my avatar here? It's the same on my Facebook Messenger, and my name is Sean Patrick.
Yeah,
on
I know.
the Messenger.
I've seen the Patrick part on a old video of yours.
Oh, okay. But I mostly do songs by Typo Negative, Queensryche. I played in a Typo Negative tribute band as Peter Steele called Type A Negative, and that's my blood type is Type A Negative. And
How do people find out their blood type?
Well, when you go to the doctor and
Blood
they
test.
give you a physical,
Blood test.
and they draw blood from you, yeah.
Oh, well, Gordon, I already added you in Facebook. Okay, now I'm going to message you.
Yeah,
Okay. Just give me a minute to refresh it. That way it could be seen.
yeah. Every Friday and Saturday night, a couple hours earlier for you. You're on Mountain Time, if I remember correctly, right?
We're on the same
Okay.
time right now. It's 4:53 here. No, 4:53
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Subscribe to Darren Dobson. His avatar is the Canadian maple leaf, like you would see on the hockey team, the Canadian hockey team.
You mean
And
not the Toronto Maple Leafs?
No, it's the red and white.
I'll send the profile of Darren.
Well, send him the channel link. You should join us over there. We have a ball. We do a lot of karaoke and support everybody's channel.
I am on your channel.
Well, I mean, Darren, me, I only do mine just to show people places they'll probably never see or not have the opportunity to see. And me, I've seen everything over here in North America, but I don't have anybody to share it with. So it's like, what's the big deal? So this is my way of sharing it. I was going through Vegas. Figured to show everybody Las Vegas.
I sent already the link of Darren Dobson.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it later. I'm still talking with you guys.
Oh, that's
I don't
cool.
want to be rude.
But he goes live stream Friday and Saturday nights, and we usually have a ball. You'll meet a lot of good friends there too.
Right.
But that guy is annoying. I mean, I could tolerate it for a while, but last night I stepped out and I couldn't take it anymore. I go to talk and I say 3 words. He's speaking over me, and it's like, I'm not going to do that.
That's the keys
What?
for you.
You know who I'm talking about, right? The weird guy
That's
with
keys
the one. Oh,
The keys. He's
but I
an
think,
annoying little.
yeah, but I think Turtle really likes him or whatever.
Well, they're both annoying little bastards.
Hey, is that Keys from America or also from Canada?
Who's that?
No,
The
the
Keys?
one you're saying with the Keys. Is he from America or
No,
Canada?
he's American.
Ah, okay.
He's American. He's from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah. But you can speak French since you're from Canada?
I could speak a little. I'm not fluent. I just know
Okay.
bonjour, comment ça va?
Oh my God. How
Oh,
old are you if you
I know how
don't
to,
mind,
I know how to
Gord?
count. I know how to count in French. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where'd
Okay,
Sean go?
Sean was gone, and yeah. Now he's reconnecting now.
Yeah, Gordon, I thought he was a special child or a special person because we have one named Ellie, but he's not like that. And I thought he was
Yeah.
special, but no, this is how this guy really acts.
He's special, all right. He's a special piece of shit.
Oh my God, Ellie loves to drop a lot of link, and he was here. He was on your channel now. Sean is watching.
Yeah, but Ellie is nowhere near as annoying as this guy is. So he's
Yeah.
The keys
You
is
can't-
basically like there's no turn off switch with the keys.
yeah. Until you boot him off the StreamYard, which Turtle has to do.
Yeah. But I'm sure he still gabs and talks like he is still on there.
He didn't like the comment I made. I was being asked a question by this other guy that has the Marlboro pack as the his avatar. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He asked me a question. I said, I don't know. Ask the guy above me. He seems to know everything. Oh man, he went off about that.
And to him, everybody's a Canadian.
Yeah, he's called me a Canadian too. Like, I was born and raised in Chicago. You need to get your geography correct.
Technically, you are. You're from Chicago. You're right across the border from Canada.
Well, not really. I mean, there's like
Technically, you are
Michigan to the
Canadian.
state.
Across the border. Yeah. But you're honorary Canadian.
And my grandparents are from Wisconsin.
So yeah, you're an honorary Canadian. They speak Canadian in Wisconsin too. Have you ever seen the movie Fargo?
No, I haven't got a chance to see that.
Yeah,
But,
everybody.
I was on the other
You know,
side of the
truth is-
highway. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know what a toque is? Don't you?
No.
It's a hat that Canadians wear in the winter. Keeps your ears warm.
Yeah, that must be a
You guys call it you
Inuit.
guys call it a beanie.
Yeah, but I think the Inuit and the Cree call it that. That's why I didn't know that. I'm only half
But
Chippewa though.
a toque is basically a warm knitted hat.
Uh huh. But here, it was right here. I was headed towards Vegas, on the other side of the highway. I was right up here at the top of
Okay.
this. I was on top of this hill, headed the other direction, when the Thunderbirds buzzed my truck about 50 feet. I
Oh
was the only
my
one out on the
God.
highway. They buzzed me, and I got on their Facebook page and said, "Hey, if y'all are going to buzz me like that, at least let me invite you to dinner." And they took me up on it. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, come on, let's go. I'll buy." So they showed up.
Wow.
I didn't know that Thunderbird 2 was a woman.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
I asked them. I said,
You have,
I asked them.
you
I
have a
said,
way with the
"Wait,
women, don't you?
well, I would have known. Her name was at that time. She was a major Michelle Curhan. She was
Mm-hmm.
Thunderbird 2, and I think she's a full bird colonel now. But I asked them. I said, "I'm tell you what. I'm a trainer. If you guys want to learn how to drive a truck, you let me fly your plane." They all started laughing, and it doesn't work that way. I said, "Yeah, I'm sure it does."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "But
Mm-hmm.
they asked me, you want to ride with us tomorrow?" I'm like, "What do you mean ride with you?" He goes, "Yeah, we'll put you in Mace's second seat." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it." They gave
But
me a
aren't you a
ride.
little,
I
aren't you a
rode with
little
them.
too big for the jets though? Like their
Almost.
cockpit is like squeezy.
All, well, what they did is it's an air seat like mine, and they lowered it all the way to the floor. And I had to wear a special helmet, not what they typically wear, because when they lowered the canopy, it clunked me on top of the helmet. So they gave me a smaller
Mm-hmm.
helmet, and I only had like a half inch between the top of the canopy and my head. I barely
It's all,
fit,
hey, the Air Force isn't meant for the tall motherfuckers.
you know. But she was talking to me. She goes, "Are you sure you can handle this?" I said, "Oh yeah, I love this." And she goes, "We can forego the half Cuban at 9 Gs." I'm like, "No, let's give it. Let's do it." She goes, "Are you serious?" I'm like, she goes, "You might pass out." I said, "I want to
Thank
see
you.
this." And she goes, "Here we go. We're going to do the half Cuban." I'm like, "Come on, 9 Gs with your badass." She
Mm-hmm.
yanked it to the left, and all of a sudden, the water is only 100 feet above. We're only 100 feet above the land. Okay.
Yeah.
And she pulls back on that yoke,
Okay.
and it was like, "Ugh," and I was squeezing my legs together, and I felt it. I did, and I was like, "Ugh," and I was afraid to let go that my hand would have smacked me in my face because that was some heavy G's. She pulled out of it, and boom, we're upside down. And she goes, "Are you with me?" And I was like, "Rock and roll." She goes, "You're still awake?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And she goes, "Nobody has ever been able to do that. Everybody usually passes out." She goes, "I can barely tolerate the 9 Gs, but I've gotten used to it." And when I got off the plane, the guys were talking to me and they were praising me and everything. I said, "Man, that was fun. I had the time of my life. If y'all want to have drinks again tonight, I'll buy." And I told them, I said, "I'm lucky that I didn't pass out, because if I'd passed out, I'd have felt so inadequate." Because it was a woman driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to embarrass yourself in front of the woman.
Oh yeah. I told her, I told them, I said,
Especially,
if I passed out.
especially a military woman. Oh boy.
Yeah. But she was cute, no doubt. But they laughed at me when I said that if I would have passed out on her, I would have felt inadequate. She goes, "Most of us can't even handle that."
Maybe she was testing your might, see if you are dateable.
But
hey,
normally,
if that was so, what a good test to do it on, eh? Hey,
yeah,
I can fly you around if you still stay awake and stay alive. You're mine.
yeah, yeah. But when we completed the half Cuban, she snapped it to where we're completely upside down. She did that so the blood would come back to my brain. She goes, "Usually everybody that rides with me will pass out if I do it. Sometimes we don't do it, we skip it." and I was awake right away. I didn't pass out. I felt the G's though. Oh yeah, you'll feel it.
You must have good blood flow.
Uh,
Or do you have a blood clot in your leg? That whoa.
that's why I say a lot of things that have happened to me like that were all by accident, really. Like they buzzed my truck.
Would you have asked her out romantically?
Oh no, she's engaged, I believe.
So she was just doing it as just to have fun with the guys, eh? Hey,
Oh yeah,
they like to have
but
fun too. Hey,
what it was is they perform their show twice a day. They
yeah.
practice here in Vegas, and they practice twice a day. They go through all the entire air show that they do wherever they go. So it's like second nature to them.
Are you sure it's the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels?
But no, the Blue Angels are in Pensacola, Florida.
Because we have the Snowbirds up here in Canada.
Yeah, I've seen them at an air show. They're great.
Yeah. And you said Thunderbird 1, Thunderbird 2. It
Thunderbird 2.
Makes me think about that TV show, The Thunderbirds. Thunderbird 1, go. Thunderbird 2, go. Thunderbird 3.
Well, they fly the
marionette show. You know that marionette show from the 60s? The Thunderbirds?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they fly the F-16 still. The Thunderbirds do. And the Blue Angels fly the F-18.
Same family, though, eh?
Sort of. The Thunderbirds are Air Force. The Blue Angels are Navy.
But I'm saying same company that makes the jets.
I'm not sure.
Are Air Force jets Boeings or are they Lockheeds?
I have no idea.
Oh, you got a good view there. You got a good view there on your right side. A railroad track. That's a railroad track.
I do know that they're going to be retiring the F-16 soon. Hang on. Yeah. I don't know why my screen wants to go dark.
Are you running out of battery?
There we go.
Is your battery okay?
No, I'm at 100%. I do know it being in the sun on the windshield, if this hot sun, it's 112 degrees where I'm at. Sometimes it'll heat the phone up.
Yeah.
But I'll pass through the northwestern corner of Arizona, and then I'll get into Utah by St. George.
Yeah. Could you go? Are you going to go by Skinwalker area, like the Skinwalker Ranch area?
The closest I'll get is when I get into Salt Lake, which is about 30 miles east of Salt Lake.
And what's that on your hood? Is that a Chicago Bears logo?
No, that's a Patriot. I got my kid's school on the side of my truck.
Oh, wait. I thought, Chicago boy voting for the New England Patriots? No.
Well, a lot of people think it's New England, even though it says Tri-Village and TVHS class of 2023. My daughter Beth.
It's the same logo, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Our school sold it to New England, and they paid for the construction of our football field and our equipment and everything.
Yeah.
So we can get a football program.
So anyway, you're affiliated.
Sort of. But I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Bears.
But they know for the use of the logo that we had, they did that for us. So we had a football program because a lot of the kids that grew up for years always had to go to another high school to play football because we didn't have a program until I think my son was like in first grade when they finally brought it in. And this year and next year are going to be the premier years because our boys at that age, my son's team, they're always undefeated.
Yeah. So for you're a Bears fan for football because Chicago Bears. Are you a Black Sox fan or a Cubs fan?
Oh,
baseball?
Cubs. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. You kidding? There you go.
And you like the Blackhawks for hockey.
Yeah, yeah. I used to be a Bulls fan until everybody and their mother became a fan. It's like I remember when we were the ass end of the NBA, and when I'd go to the amphitheater in Chicago to watch them play, and the place would not even be half full. And I remember
till Jordan came in.
Yeah, well, not right away. Not right away. When he was a rookie and we got him, crowd was still half and half, but we started kicking ass with him because we got him and we got Scottie
and everybody started taking notice. Yep.
Yep. And then that's what it's like when the bandwagon takes your team over. Pissed a lot of people off. It's like, where you people been the past 10, 15 years?
Do you think the Chicago Blackhawks would have benefited if Gretzky was not traded to LA but to Chicago?
Oh, you definitely.
Do you know who Gretzky is?
Wayne Gretzky? Yeah, he's a great one.
Yeah.
I know when they broke up that was a good team, the Edmonton Oilers. They had Paul Coffey, and Messier, and Gretzky. That was a good team. Now, who went to the Stanley Cup Finals? I haven't checked it lately.
What, this year?
Yeah.
It's Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers.
For the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
So I was right. I told Darren that's what was going to happen. And I'm going to take the Panthers to go take the cup.
Oh, fuck you don't. Oh, fuck you don't.
I'm a Blackhawks fan, but I was just observing. Now, Edmonton, good team. I mean, granted, I can see them if they keep the team. When they had all those Hall of Famers on their team and won the Stanley Cup, they busted the team up, and it's like, what did they do that for? I never got that.
That was when Pocklington was the owner of the Oilers. He got arrested for fraud, and he went to prison for fraud.
Other fans buried for doing that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm a diehard Maple Leaf fan, but my second favorite team is the Edmonton Oilers, and you don't mess with the Oilers.
I was guessing you were a Flames fan.
The Fleming toilet seats?
I went to a game there. They're playing Vancouver. Yep, when I was stuck up there for 34-hour reset, I delivered to the Walmart. I looked at the schedule. There's a game going on. So I grabbed a cab, drove about 20 miles, and went to the Saddle Dome to a game. It was either that or I was going to see the Calgary Hitmen. I'm wanting to get one of their jerseys, the Calgary Hitmen.
You know who owns
Bret Hart
them,
don't own them anymore. Yeah, but Bret Hart sold them, didn't he?
I think he's still part owner.
I know his son was playing on the team. His son pursued hockey, then wrestling. I'm just curious how far he went.
Smart move.
Gene Okerlund's son played for the United States Olympic hockey team.
And he was drafted by the New York Islanders.
Oh, he went to the Islanders? Okay.
No, he didn't play for the Islanders. No, Sean, he didn't play for the Islanders. He was drafted by the Islanders. I don't think he made the big league.
Oh, okay. But I remember there was a WWF event, and the Olympics ended, and Okerlund was, I think it was Saturday night's main event. He was interviewing Akeem, the African Dream, and his manager, the Dr. Style Slick. And what he said was brilliant. I mean, that's why I like the wrestling of that time versus now. What he said to Gene Okerlund was, he goes, man, our miserable Olympic team was nothing but a bunch of losers, baby. And we had to call in George Steinbrenner to the rescue, dude. And he goes, oh, don't talk to me, Gene, about your loser son of yours on that loser hockey team. Yeah, it was a disappointing Olympics for the United States and our hockey team. We were getting pushed all over the ice. It was awful. What he said to Gene Okerlund about his son on that team, it was hilarious.
I bet Gene took it, and I bet Gene took it as a joke.
Oh yeah, that's why I like the older guys. The men, I tried watching it once. I'm like, they don't have it. They need to go
There's no
back to
personality anymore. There's no personality.
exactly no charisma or character. It's like they need to
John
ad lib
Cena.
it.
John Cena's a personality, though.
He'd probably be
John
the only one
Cena.
that comes close. But it's the women's division that's been keeping it alive because they got character.
Yeah, you could all with the men. You could all do all the flippity flops and all that shit, but you still have to be a good character.
But basically, the only time I watch it is whenever Kana's wrestling. I'll watch that and then I'm done.
Have you ever tried AEW?
No, but I've watched Kana wrestle and I'm watching her lose and I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. Every time she loses, I'm like, that was bullshit. I'm like, she did her job. She made him look good, but I knew it was bullshit.
But you got to take a look. Asuka, aka Kana, she's the elder now. Like the younger girls coming up, she has to put over.
Yeah. And they won't give her a long reign, and they won't let her win at WrestleMania.
She doesn't speak English.
She does a little bit. She's been really working hard learning it. But she's limited.
Not enough right now. Not enough right now.
Oh yeah, not enough to do an interview with her.
No, she just does that yelling thing and says, "Nobody's ready for Asuka." That's about it.
Her English is about the level of a kindergartner.
Now, that other female wrestler from Japan that landed on you, she spoke good English.
Curie, she speaks English?
No, the wrestler that landed on you on the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she spoke fluent English. Have you been to America? She goes, yeah, I've been briefly, but I'm from here.
But when you watched wrestling, were you a Hogan fan?
My favorites were like Jesse Ventura.
So you like your heels?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Roddy Piper?
Yes. Roddy Piper, no one will ever be able to do what Roddy Piper got away with the most shit. And never got paid back for it, you know? He got away with the most shit Roddy Piper did.
I'm sure he got his payback in WCW.
But Jake the Snake, what I liked about him was nobody can clear a ring as quickly as he could. That last Royal Rumble he was a part of, and there was that big dude, Via or something like that. That big black dude was in there. But there was a lot of people in the ring. And he comes out, he just grabs the snake, shoves the snake in. Within a split second, everybody was out of the ring.
But with Jake the Snake Roberts, he didn't need to yell. He spoke soft because he wanted people to like lean in.
But I like listening to some of his stories when he does interviews. You know, like when he first met Andre the Giant and how they became really close friends. Yeah. And he said at that time he was just a referee. And they said, take care of Andre, you know, drive him around where he needs to go. And, you know, that was Jake the Snake's job. And he was a referee, too.
And you know who Jake the Snake's sister is, don't you?
Yeah, Rockin' Robin.
And you know who his brother is, don't you?
Sam Houston.
And you know Nick Patrick, the referee from WCW?
No.
They're related.
Really? I didn't watch too much WCW.
And
I watched the NWA when that was around. NWA.
Yeah, same thing. Like Nick Patrick started in NWA. Oh, and Jake's father was a wrestler too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was kind of a screwed up family. because of the way the father acted.
And the mom raped Jake the Snake, or
Oh, it was his
whatever
mom? I
we're
thought it was his
saying.
stepmom.
Oh, his mom. Apparently, they're drunk alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
But Rockin' Robin was a popular female wrestler too, wasn't she?
Yeah, but they very rarely ever let the women wrestle. I'm. When did they open it up to the having a women's division in the WWE? When did that happen? What year?
Are you talking about like when they made it serious, or
Yeah,
are you
where
talking about Divas?
when they had women on every week. They have the women's division like they do. When did that
I think it was
start?
around '97 during the Attitude Era because of Tits and Ass.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But my most favorite female wrestler of all time, Trish Stratus.
No, I never got into. My favorite female. If you put Kana to the side, she's a league of her own because I met her before she became famous.
But
But
I'm
if you
saying,
remove her, my favorite would be Natalia, Jim the Amble's daughter. And
Bret
when
Hart.
and when she loses, I'm like, bullshit. I know Natalia can fight.
Doesn't it like if you see a picture of Natalia now, doesn't she look like Shannon Tweed, the wife of Gene Simmons?
Eh, I would say that Charlotte Flair looks more like Shannon Tweed.
Did you ever like Trish Stratus?
Never really paid attention to her.
Lita?
Not really, no. The first female that grabbed my attention, believe it or not, was China. I was like, who is that woman? I was interested.
The first female wrestler I saw that got my attention and got my attention for sure. It would have been Wendy Richter.
Oh, by the way, I was about to say that. Wendy Richter, her aunt, was my English teacher in high school, in Strom Thurmond High School. She taught English. And my junior year of high school, she was my English teacher.
That's cool.
Because she would always have a picture of her on her desk. She goes, yeah, that's my niece. I mean, that's Wendy Richter. She goes,
Did you ever
yeah.
like Medusa? Did you ever like Medusa / Alundra Blaze?
I really didn't know her, no.
Did-
Before Kana, I would have to say if the one in the WWE when the women's era or women's division became a thing, I kind of liked Holly, Molly Holly. I liked her.
Molly Holly?
Yeah.
You know she was Mona in WCW. She was with Macho Man.
That was her? Molly Holly was that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was her. She was Mona.
But it was that year, and Barry told me she's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm like, I'm going to watch, and she ends up winning it. And I'm like, Barry, my chances of meeting her now are next to none. Now.
Was this when she still had the blonde hair and doing that superhero thing with the hurricane? Or was it?
No. I was talking about Kana. I was talking about
I
Kana.
thought you were talking about Molly Holly.
No, the first women's Royal Rumble. That was when Barry called me up. He said, "You mean turn it on and watch it? Pay per view." I'm like, okay, so I did.
But here's the thing. Ronda Rousey overshadowed her victory.
Oh yeah. Ronda
like
Rousey wasn't around then. She wasn't around then. She was still fighting in the UFC.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
For that first women's Royal Rumble? I don't think she was around then.
Yeah, she was. She came out after Asuka won it.
Yeah, I think it was funny that I didn't realize she was such a big fan of Roddy Piper. Ronda Rousey was.
She wasn't a fan. She was his friend.
Really? I thought she
Yeah,
was
they
just a
did
big
I think
fan.
they did a couple of movies together before.
That I didn't know.
And
But
Roddy Piper's daughter is now wrestling.
is who?
Roddy Piper's daughter is now in the wrestling business.
Oh, she is. See, that's what I was hoping. I would hope one of the other Hart daughters, around Natalia's age or younger, would get into the wrestling business and they could reform the Hart Foundation, but it'd be two girls instead of Brett and the Anvil. I was
They
always hoping for that.
and and the Bulldog's son is wrestling in Japan. Oh,
Wasn't he in WWE for a bit?
yeah, but he got in trouble because of drugs.
Now, when I was really into bodybuilding coming out of high school and through my 20s. I tried to model myself to get like Davy Boy. Davy Boy had a great build, but I didn't realize he was on roids either. He was taking the sauce, and I'm like, oh man. When I found out, I'm like, I thought he did this naturally. I'm like, hell no, he's
Oh,
doing the sauce, man.
oh, the Dynamite Kid's son is with AEW.
Now he received a permanent back injury, is why he couldn't wrestle anymore, right? Because I remember he disappeared, and I always went
Yeah,
and Bulldog went solo.
and Chris Benoit's son is wrestling.
I thought Chris Benoit murdered his son and his wife.
Oh, he had a previous son with a previous relationship.
Oh, okay.
Same with Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman's son, Brian Pillman Jr. is with the AEW.
But I got to tell you this: it is unfair to say, but it's true. Charlotte Flair wouldn't have had to have the career that she has if it hadn't been for her dad.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlotte has lived up to that. She's done a great job, and I got to hand it to her.
Right. Like nepotism. Like I was watching a Paul Stanley interview earlier today. His son is a rock star,
Uh huh.
but Paul Stanley says nepotism can get you so far. You still have to do the work.
Oh yeah, he looks a lot like his dad too.
Paul Stanley's son.
Yes,
But I'm saying
except for the hairdo, but in the face he looks like his dad, just like Nick looks like Gene.
Nick looks more like Shannon.
But Nick picks on his dad. His dad be sticking his tongue out, and I remember Nick walking up behind him saying, "Mine's bigger," and he'd stick it out.
Now, have you noticed Nick is taller than Gene?
Oh yeah, Nick is really tall.
Yeah.
I always knew Sophia was going to be a dish.
Sophie?
Yes, I knew she was going to be a good-looking woman
She's
when she
married
grew up.
now.
She is married. Gene
Yep.
tried saying you don't have to get married and all this other stuff.
No, they got married. Her and her man got married.
Hmm.
Oh, and Angela O'Kane says, Gordon, can you please let Sean know that Mimi and I were in please. Like, I guess they were backstage.
They were? Crap, I didn't see that. Well, okay, I'm ready for you. Come back up if you can. See, I can't read the chat, and I mean, I'll glance over to see if there's a red dot, and I never saw one. I'm sorry.
I'll read the chat for you then.
Usually that's why I always bring Sharon or Sammy or Jerry Boy every now and then.
You know, Brian, speaking of Jerry, did you know Brian Christopher?
I've heard the name.
Too sexy?
Now, that sounds like Buff Bagwell.
No, they were part of a tag team with Rikishi. It was Too Sexy, Scotty Too Hottie, and Rikishi.
Oh yeah, when the one doing the snake and everything. Yeah, I remember that. See,
Yeah.
I liked Rikishi, man, giving people the stink face. I like that he'd walk through the middle of the ring and the person would slip and fall into the corner, and he'd snap his head around, look back at him, and then he'd start smacking his own ass.
Do you know he was one? Did you know before he gained that much weight, he was part of the Head Shrinkers?
Yeah. Hmm.
It was Samu and Fatu.
Yep. I knew they were all related.
Yeah.
Those Islanders, yeah. But I liked Rikishi. What happened? Did he become permanently injured too?
No, he just retired. His
Because
brother, his brother was Umaga.
he had the tattoos on his face,
Face paint.
right?
It was face paint.
Oh, his face paint. Okay.
Yeah.
And he died of suicide, correct?
Nope. Drug overdose.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah. And do you know the guy that was with him, Rosie, Rosie was Roman Reigns' brother.
Oh, okay.
You know, the guy that was with the Hurricane Superhero in Training, SHIT?
Uh huh.
That's Roman Reigns' brother.
Oh, okay. Yes, I
And
don't know too much about those guys.
he died.
Hmm.
Heart attack.
But when I was over in Japan, we landed in Tokyo International. Brother came and got us, and we were somewhere north of Yokohama or northwest of it, and we got on a train and went to Osaka, and that's when we went to see the wrestling. And I remember going to Osaka Park under all the cherry blossom trees. Oh, it was gorgeous.
I bet.
And I learned that's where she's from, is Osaka, Japan.
Yeah. Was Japan a good country to you? Like,
Oh yeah,
were they friendly to you?
yes. The only thing is, you're out of your element, especially if you're as tall as me, and you got to get used to it. If not, you're going to get hit in the head a lot, and I did. Um, when you know that you're doing it right culturally to take your shoes off, and it getting excited, like, hey, you did it right and everything, and you didn't realize that you don't walk on a hardwood floor with cotton socks. It's like walking on ice. I slipped and busted my rear. I did the splits and then I went down. Not as hard as I could have, but it made a boom. And
Or don't they usually give you like flip flops to walk inside with?
yeah, but none of those would fit my feet.
Right.
They don't have a size 15 over in Japan.
And if
That's
they
an
do,
insane. That's an
and if
insane
they do,
size for them.
if they do, it's just for novelty acts.
Well, anyway, I hit the floor, and there was saw this elderly couple, speaking quickly in Japanese and coming out the bedroom door, and their eyes are real big, and they look down at me and they look at their son-in-law, and he speaks Japanese and he's translating and he's laughing, and they looked at me and I'm still on the floor and I put my hands together and I said konnichiwa, sensei. I addressed the father. I addressed him as sensei. It should have been sama, but sensei was good enough. But
Sensei
they
means
looked
teacher.
down at me. Well, yeah, but that's a suffix you use. It's like Mr., Mrs., Miss, all that other stuff. That's what it's like. But that's how they do it. And you use their last name with
Sean?
it. Yes.
Yeah, Sean, excuse me. I'll just step down now. I'll just watch you guys, okay?
right.
Nice meeting you, Gordon, and thank you, Sean, okay?
Uh-huh.
Take care
And
for your driving. I'll be watching you in the light, okay? Take care.
Sure.
Many
Anyway,
blessings. to you.
he was laughing at me, and when he talked to his in-laws, they looked at me, and the mother kind of rolled her eyes and shook her head, and she was smiling. And I'm like, "What's going on?" He goes, "They ran out of the bedroom because they thought it was an earthquake." Because when I hit the floor, the house is made of wood, and boom.
I'm pretty sure. John Tenta, the guy that was Earthquake in the WWF, when he went to Japan to do sumo before becoming a professional wrestler, I bet he shook a couple of floors.
Well, if he was wearing cotton socks on a wooden floor, yeah.
But are you
But
supposed to be barefoot? Are you supposed to be barefoot?
no, your socks is okay. They just don't want you wearing shoes to track in the dirt that you walk around outside
Hey,
in.
Darren.
Oh, that's Darren Dobson. That's what I was telling you about. Darren, you got a fellow Canadian here. He's from Alberta.
I know the name Dobson because it was a radio show here in Grand Prairie or somewhere in Canada. It was something family with Dobson.
Uh-huh. Hey, Darren, if you watch at the beginning, I started this live stream going through Vegas.
Now you're just in Nevada.
Yep. I'm away,
Vegas
just
is
away.
just a memory now.
Yeah, I'm like 15 miles to Arizona, and I'll be on the little corner of Arizona for about 30 minutes, and then I'll be in Utah.
Where are you headed?
North of Pocatello, Idaho. So I'll be just south of you.
Well, way south because I used to live in Milk River.
Yeah, if I
It's by
continue.
Coots. Milk River is like a little bit north of Coots.
But I-15 here, if I take it all the way up to the Canadian border, I'll be in Montana, right there at Sweetgrass. That's where
Yeah.
I-15 ends, and I forgot the highway in Canada that continues it on into Calgary.
That's the Queen Elizabeth Highway.
What number?
I don't know the number, but
Because the QE2 is in Canada, Toronto. I've been on that one a couple of times.
yeah. But if you were to go past Montana and you would be in the town of Coots, then a little bit, 20 minutes north of Coots would be Milk River. I used to live there. Now I live in Grand Prairie, which is northwest of Alberta. Hello?
Oops, sorry about that.
No worries.
I've got to redo this here.
Is your phone overheating?
No, I'm going to repost the link to for Darren. Oh, here we go. I was going to repost the link to the StreamYard for Darren.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. I got it down there for you, Darren. Yeah, Darren.
Anybody who wants to join.
Yeah, I think Darren got off work about an hour ago.
Where does Darren live? Is he in Ontario?
Hey, he's west of Toronto, I believe. He married a
Mississauga?
Filipina. Yeah, his wife will be coming over, I believe, in July. And that's why I'm trying to
It's
make it
okay,
a point.
Darren. You don't have to jump up right away. Just know it's there for you whenever you need it. He says, I am on another call.
Yeah,
Sean, I can't jump up right now.
Yeah, he's talking to his wife.
But yeah, Canada, for all its flaws, it's still better than the United States for all I know.
Every time I go up to Canada, I don't have any trouble, nothing at all. It's wonderful. Because you don't have people, I've never had people up there talk shit to me up there.
Right?
You come here to the States, that's an easy part. I hear people talk crap to each other all the time. And all these
When
mass
we drove,
shootings was happening. I was coming across the border in Sweetgrass the last time I was going up to Calgary. He looked at me. He goes, "How you doing?" I said, with what's been going on, because everybody knew about it in the news. What's been going on? I'm about ready to yell amnesty. And he goes, "Please don't." He goes, "That's a lot of paperwork." He knew I was joking, so he kind of played along. He goes, "Please don't, because that's a lot of paperwork." People are shooting each other down here.
I come first. I come to a sanctuary.
No, you just go to the border and say amnesty.
But if you were serious, he still would have to do it. It's
Oh
his
yeah,
job.
a lot of paperwork.
But it's his job. If he doesn't want to do his job, he could be fired. No, wait, the union.
There was one time when I went over into from Buffalo into Canada at that port, and it was a gorgeous blonde. They don't want you popping your brakes, and I didn't. You just turn your tractor off and leave it in gear, and your truck won't roll. And she goes, "Thank God you're the only one that didn't pop his brakes." I said, "Well, it says it on the big sign back there." He goes, "Yeah, I know it, but a lot of people missed the sign." And she goes, "First time to Canada?" And I'm like, "No, but I didn't realize Canada was that beautiful." Boy, that put a smile on her face. She was cute.
Sean, you've been on the road too long. You're a horny little motherfucker.
I love women. Yeah, I admit that. I'm not easy. No.
Sean, the first woman that lays eyes on you and wants to go in your truck, you're going, okay, follow me.
Yeah, whenever I have free time, I have my targets. One of them is a Filipina, and the other one is Kana, and that's why I get excited going through Vegas. And I'm like, shit, I know she's probably left already for Louisville. If I showed up on a Saturday night, that would have been perfect. Everybody goes out on a Saturday night, and she's home because she flies home after the event.
And she has to stay home to just in case the phone rings. Yeah.
The only time she would be gone for an extended period amount of time is when they did those events in Europe or in Australia or in the Middle East.
Or Canada.
Really?
Yeah, because they tour Canada too, the WWE.
Yeah, but she'd fly back home.
Not if she needs to be in a different city the next.
Well, the next night. That's different. Yeah, she rides with her tag team partner. They go everywhere, and I believe they get a rental car. But that one time, it looked like they were using Kana's Lexus. She got a very expensive gray Lexus.
She's not even a millionaire yet.
No, but she lives a comfortable lifestyle. She's bought property. I know when her career is over, she's leaving.
Yeah,
she's going to go back to Osaka.
She doesn't blow her money on drugs or anything bad or anything like that.
She spent a fortune on a lot of video games. I'm talking about the big 80s type arcade where you put the coin in. She's opening an arcade there in Osaka.
Well, she did work
have
for
a diner and all kinds of stuff.
She did work for Microsoft developing Xbox games.
She was a writer, though, wasn't she? Like a journalist?
Yeah, but
for video games.
But she also did code for video games. She was also making the games too.
Wow, I didn't know that. I mean, she's really smart.
And she's also a Kiss fan.
Oh, maybe her favorite's Gene. She's going to like me.
No, she likes Paul, the guy with the star in the eye.
Yeah, but yeah, usually a lot of women that know they can't resist the delicacy of that long tongue that can move.
Yeah, Gene says he could work up a froth on any woman.
If you know, that's what separates the men from the boys. If you know how to work with it, and that's
Yeah.
something that Asian women don't get. They don't get that, and when they do, oh yeah, they'll turn into a freak on you. Because my cousin is married to a Panay for over 20 years. He said, Sean, you do that, they'll turn into a freak
Likewise,
on.
sure. Likewise. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, hopefully you can get help me get Coda to meet Sheer because
Nah,
they're both artists.
nah. I wouldn't torture Sheer like that with Coda. Coda doesn't need to be around women.
I knew you were.
Coda needs to be in a mental institution,
Yeah.
like one
I
flew
know.
over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah, I do know that I pinned you right away. That you were probably the only serious one of that group, and maybe Turtle. And that was about
I
it.
had my funny moments.
Yeah, but you're not annoying like what Keys. Oh my God.
Yeah. I ain't annoying like that, and I ain't like Robert. Like I like intelligent conversations, but over there they don't have intelligent conversations, do they?
Well, I noticed that. That's why I'm like, I won't step into this.
Yeah.
That's why last night I asked him, do you want, you know, the truth and an intellectual answer, or you just want to have fun and just make jokes? Because I need to know.
Right.
Because when I start speaking,
and Swishy too, Swishy or whatever he goes by, like you even asked him if he had a college degree, and he would refuse to answer.
See, I know when if I speak logically in a logical tone, Keys would be lost. He wouldn't have a clue what the hell I'm talking about.
He goes like this: "Shut up, Canadian! Shut up, Canadian!" You know, I take it as a compliment because Canadians are smart people.
Well, yeah, for the most part, y'all go to school and don't quit in the 7th grade.
And if we do quit, and if people do quit, it's to work on the farm.
But nobody ever asked me what my degree was. I never put it out there either. I was waiting for somebody to ask.
Nor should you, because it's your degree. Like it doesn't matter. Like I could tell by just the way you talk, you're a smart and I wonder what the fuck are you doing trucking when you could be a college professor?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I'm going where the money is, and
well, college professors where money is too. Like there's rich professors. Look at Jordan Peterson. He's a rich motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, but Jordan Peterson, great guy, but he seems to be like a guru for young men who don't know how to relate to young women that really want to, but just can't. And he says to them, it's not your fault.
But he also says too, like, before you change the world, clean your bedroom. Basically, like before you clean anybody else's room, clean your own room. Like make sure your house is in order before you put others in order.
Yeah. I know he's a psychiatrist, and I know very little. My college roommate was a psychiatrist, and he'd give me a free reading. I would always come up to him like that, like Miss Cleo. Come on, give me a free reading.
That's a psychic, not a psychiatrist.
Well, he was a psychiatrist, but I'd always make that joke. Give me a free reading. And I remember before we parted ways, he said, "You're great, Sean. You're totally sound, but You just love being a pain in the ass sometimes.
Hey, sometimes life needs someone to give them a pain in the ass.
I said, hey, at least I was funny. And he goes, yes. But I have a master's in economics and business and economical history, and I have a minor in broadcasting. I wanted
Is
to
that
be
why you,
a sports announcer.
that's why you got a radio voice.
Yeah, I want to be like the guy sitting next to Darren Pang at the hockey game and doing the color commentary, something like that. Or
Darren Pang's Canadian, eh?
I didn't know that. I knew he was a hockey player and
He is a
a
goalie for the
broadcaster.
Chicago Blackhawks, but he sucked. That's why he's doing commentary instead of coaching.
Yeah, but see, I wanted to do that. I got called up to do the public address for the Cincinnati Cyclones hockey team because the wild man got laryngitis and couldn't speak. They called me up. I'm like, how'd you all know about me? He goes, your professor threw your name in to come in and do this because I was a hockey fan. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll do it. Did a couple of games there in Cincinnati. I loved it. It was great. It was fun too.
Oh, Shear says, Gordon, tell Sean, blessed life is live, and something like that. But Sean, I rather you have like that. Who was that guy that did the rest? Oh, Paul Harvey. You kind of sound like Paul Harvey.
Oh, Paul Harvey. Good day.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, I like that. I always vision the Australians as like the English rednecks. I remember Ron Williams was talking about that.
We had a person like Paul Harvey here in Canada. His name was Stuart McLean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he would tell stories like Paul Harvey and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the first person that shined me on the radio was Larry Lujak out of Chicago, WLS.
Yeah, you want to know what? Our Stuart McLean, he kind of sounded like Al Gore. His voice sounded like Al Gore. but a loose Al Gore, like not the tight Al Gore.
But the announcers that I always, me and my friends and my brother, we'd always imitate was when we were real little. We would always do Howard Cosell. Now he was the most famous that everybody tried to copy, and the only other one that I really was pretty good at copying was Harry Carey.
Speaking of Howard Cosell, do you know he was the one that broke the news of John Lennon's death?
No, I didn't know that.
It was during a Monday Night Football game, and Howard Cosell and John Lennon were best friends. So he got the news that John Lennon died, and he interrupted the game to.
What year did Al Michaels take over Monday Night Football?
Probably in the 90s.
No, Al Michaels had been doing Monday Night Football since I was a little boy, and we're talking late 70s.
But I thought that was
do not remember.
Yeah.
No, I've never remembered Howard Cosell doing Monday Night Football. To me, it was always Al Michaels. And Al Michaels would do the World Series.
But Howard Cosell was doing a football game during John Lennon's death. It was an NFL game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on Sunday during the day, the matinee games, that would be on CBS.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. It was a Sunday night game.
That was Pat Summerall and John Madden.
No. I mean, during 1980 when John Lennon was shot, Howard Cosell was calling a football game.
I
They
gotta look
passed the
that one
news.
up.
they passed the news to Howard Cosell to announce to the world or to the United States that John Lennon died.
Because I know he was an ABC sportscaster, Howard Cosell was, and he did all the boxing, throughout history until his retirement. And he would always be on ABC's Wild World of Sports. And every weekend,
This is Howard Cosell.
and you'd always see him come out like
Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. It's gonna
during the summer, a lot of times you would see Evil Knievel, and he would immediately walk out, really quick and walk around, like a wrestler would. And he'd have this cane in his hand, Evil Knievel, and it was always the same. He'd jump, he'd always crash at the end, and he'd have his arms around his guys, going, "That was the last time you would ever see Evil Knievel make a jump again." And they'd take him away, right, and then be back next week.
in a different city.
Yep.
Well, it is true that people in the city that he did the jump was the last time they saw him do that jump. He didn't say for the rest of the United States.
Yeah. That was the most disappointing moment when he was going to. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. He was going to jump the Grand Canyon.
No, he was going to jump Snake River on a rocket.
No, it originally was going to be the Snake River, but then they changed it to the Grand Canyon. And as soon as he came off the ramp, the parachute came open, ruined the whole thing. And I'm like, you mean these people have been waiting around in that heat all day for this to happen? Just for this to happen? If I was in the crowd, I'd have been pissed.
When did Bob Costas come into sports?
Oh, I don't remember.
That's so freaky there. The two walls beside you there.
Oh yeah. To my right, back about 50 miles, that's Area 51.
Any UFOs?
I've been out here many a time, and even at night. I was looking too for anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Except
maybe they moved operations somewhere else.
Except when on 93, when you go through this town, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know what it is, and I can't put my finger on it. But you just have this feeling, and I wasn't the only one that felt this way. Everybody I talked to that goes through there, they said the same thing. We don't know what it is, but just something is off.
So right now, are you on the extraterrestrial highway?
No, this is Interstate 15. The extraterrestrial highway is US 93.
Oh, so it's a little ways away.
Yes.
Okay.
But everybody said the same thing. You know that there's something amiss. There's just something not right, but we can't figure out what it is. And I wasn't the only one that said that. And I say it every time I go through there. I've talked to other driver friends of mine that went through there. He goes, yeah, I felt the same thing. I'm sorry?
No, I was telling Sheer, no worries. She says, thank you, Gordon, for reading my message.
Hey, Sheer, tell Bless that I'm, doing a live stream here, and when I end, we'll go over there. I mean, I like Bless Live's live stream, but she doesn't really have a panel. Not tonight, but tomorrow night she might have one.
I don't think Turtle will be doing panels for a long time.
After what happened last night, wouldn't blame her. Because I could pass along information and point to you where the facts lie to because I won't never give people false information, and I'll tell them if they want to look it up to make sure that I'm telling you the truth. I'll point you to a book or where to find that information, whatever it is I'm talking about.
I trust you with your knowledge because I know you're not blowing smoke up the ass.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say something if I can't back it up. I'm like, you're going to have to read this. But getting people to read, I'm like, I gave up.
Do you find me intelligent?
Yes.
Yeah, but I have my personal beliefs, but I'm not gonna force it upon people like Keys and stuff do. Like even Swishy, like he's
Okay.
forcing beliefs and stuff like that.
You
Like
mentioned his name. I can't remember his name now.
I
One of the
just call
guys, because I asked him if he spoke German.
yeah, that was Swishy.
If that's who it was. I
Yeah,
asked him if because he says he's a white nationalist and all this other stuff.
yeah, that's Swishy.
And that's why I tried to convince him. I said, "Do you speak German?" He goes, "No." I said, "Well, the word in German and for nationalist is national, and in short, Nazi. That's where it comes from. So you're a
Yeah,
Nazi." He didn't like that. I said, "Don't blame me. That's where it comes from."
you should have asked him if you spoke German in German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Sprechen Sie
Well,
Deutsch?
I'm not fluent in German. It's
But you know that
sketchy here
word,
and there.
don't you? Don't you know that sentence? Sprechen Sie
Yeah,
Deutsch?
yeah.
And you know, ich bin ein Berliner.
My favorite is stop him from flopping.
But you know,
That means bra.
there, there was yeah, when Kennedy was in Germany talking to the people there, a little girl beside him started laughing because he said ich bin ein Berliner. He meant
Uh,
was I am a Berliner, but the girl told him that pronunciation means you're a donut. Ich, ich bin ein Berliner. I am a donut.
and if they ever talk about Trump, I'd call him President Ass Gas. And I tell him why. I said, well, and the English, ever since he became our president, that's what they called him. Because if you say Trump over in England, that means fart.
Fart. Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't believe me. I'm like, stop shooting the messenger. I didn't make this shit up.
I
They
knew it
did.
meant. I had it when I lived in Milk River. I had an English neighbor, and she said Trump in England means fart
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds like a trumpet. So it's just shortened for trumpet, just Trump.
They called him President Ass Gas.
I just, you know, every time it's windy up here, I go like this. Oh shit! Donald Trump's making a speech. He's full of hot air. Every time his mouth opens, it's windy.
But see, I see how I was able to prove my point to him to something that he had no clue what he was saying, Swishy, and
Yeah,
that's why he wouldn't let me speak because I'm going to give the facts. I'm not going to bullshit anybody, and it was making him think, like rethink what he was wanting to be or
but
say.
He doesn't want to think. He just wants to believe what he believes and live like he doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't think he's open to new ideas.
he'd rather stay in the fantasy land than live in reality.
Right. You know who Swishy kind of reminds me of? Dale Gribble from King of the Hill.
Oh man.
Dale Gribble from King of the Hill, and you know, on that Simpsons, that military store owning guy that has the one arm.
Hmm.
A mixture of both, like attitude and the way they
Oh,
talk.
yeah. You know that other blonde lady that comes. She was in there last night. Southern Cal, I think is her name, or Southern
SoCal
Cal.
Val, no
Yeah,
SoCal Megan.
yeah. She's had enough of Keys. Okay, and she's in the
Ever-
chat. She stepped down a couple of times off the panel, and I keep getting asked questions. I go to answer, and he steps all over me where I can't speak. And I put in the chat, I can't tell if this guy is Beavis or Butthead. And she said,
Or
definitely Butthead.
Beavis is the one that'll put the shirt over his head and says, "I'm the great
Yeah.
Cornholio." I need TP
Yeah, that
for
was
my
Beavis.
butthole. Yeah,
Yeah, that was Beavis.
and Butthead
Corn
is
Julio.
like, he said, yeah, he said, yeah.
Well, there was rumored that Beavis and Butthead were like a lower version of a template of Bill and Ted. And I'm like,
I
there are
say more.
similarities.
I say more Cheech and Chong. They're more like Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, they were the best when MTV would show a video of whatever, and they're at the bottom making their comments about the video, like
Yeah,
Science Theater 2000. They got the little robots down there. I like that when they showed the one from Elvis live, his last show before he died, and you hear and he's like, "Hey, Butthead," isn't that the guy that kind of like died on the toilet?
yeah.
That was hilarious.
And did you know Beavis and Butthead did a video with Cher?
No, I didn't know.
It was a heavier version of "I Got You, Babe."
I'd like to have seen that.
It's still available on YouTube. Like they did a video with Cher, and Beavis said to Butthead at the end of the video, "Hey, Beavis, get out," because Cher, like he believed, like they were in a virtual reality thing, and Cher was one of those virtual reality videos, and
Uh-huh.
Beavis thought he was going to actually make it with Cher. Like,
I'm gonna score.
no, that's Beavis. I'm talking Butthead.
Uh,
So, Cher, some people say you like younger men, and she goes, "Yeah, well." Like this was like in a break between I Got You, Babe.
uh-huh.
Like you should see the video. It's so funny.
I'm gonna look it up.
Beavis and Butthead and Cher.
Yeah, see, I got all the episodes of the shorts that they did, but never any of the footage when you'd see them talking while watching an MTV video. That you don't get any of that because they did so many. I just have the episodes or whatnot.
Do you know that was Mike Judge that did Beavis and Butthead, the guy that did King of the Hill?
Well, yeah, but a lot of people are saying that Hank Hill is a younger version of Anderson. I said, no, he's just using the same voice. Yes. And I said, that's Michael Judge's normal voice. He sounds like
No, it's
Anderson.
not. No,
Yeah.
it's not. Michael Judge is a little bit more nasally.
But he took the pointers off of people that he knew that
Yeah, but I'm
gave him
saying,
the template for the
but I'm
characters
saying,
that he
like
created.
Mike Judge's regular voice is a
Uh-huh.
little bit is not as Bobby, that boy ain't right. Like it's not. It doesn't sound like Hank Hill.
I thought Hank Hill was like his normally would speak.
No,
When he normally
it's like
would speak.
it's like Seth MacFarlane doing Peter Griffin.
Uh-huh.
That's not Seth MacFarlane's real voice. That's Peter Griffin. Brian would be more like Seth MacFarlane's real voice. But yeah, like when it comes, like they did a music video together, Beavis and Butthead and Cher. Yeah, I like Beavis and Butthead. I also like Daria, the spinoff of.
Oh
Beavis
yeah. I want the newer seasons because Michael Judge came back and started making more Beavis and Butthead. I don't have the newer ones. I want them on DVD.
Not worth it.
Really?
No, they make fun of they do critiques of reality shows instead of music videos. Like they started doing like the Real Housewives shows. Like,
Oh, I remember they were watching a hip hop video of this all black girl group, I can't remember.
TLC,
Song is it's
TLC,
cold.
or Salt and Pepper.
No, it's cold in the D. It's from Detroit, and Beavis said, "Is this Desperate Housewives of Detroit?"
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to Beavis and Butthead, I like them. I even like that movie when they did a movie, Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Well, they did another one.
They did?
Yeah, they did another movie, but I don't know if it was released yet or how it did in the theater. I don't know, but
I
they
don't
did
think it was
another
released.
movie.
I don't think it was released in theater. I think it was direct to video.
Yeah, it was Beavis and the Butthead Do the Universe or something like that.
Yeah, but I think that was like direct to videotape. But Do America was in theaters because it had Robert Stack and all these famous voices.
Oh yeah, Robert Stack.
Yeah, he
Dude,
was the head of FBI agent looking for
Yeah,
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, the woman with the glove. He would go deep and hard. Don't stop until you reach the back of their teeth. That was hilarious to hear Robert Stack talk like that.
Robert Stack was a comedian.
Oh, he was? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did Airplane and Airplane 2 and stuff like that. Like before he was the voice of Unsolved Mysteries, he was actually in comedy movies.
That's what I mostly knew him as, was the host of Unsolved Mysteries.
He had the voice for it, didn't he? Like his voice would creep you out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Leonard Nimoy for Spock on Star Trek?
Yeah.
He did a mystery show called In Search of.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, his son is married to the actress Jadzia Dax. Married like 15 years ago.
Who was she? Was he married to? I didn't hear you clearly. You got choppy when you said.
Yeah, Spock's the guy's son, Leonard Nimoy's son, married the actress that played Jadzia Dax on DS9. I can't remember her real name.
Cool.
If you ever watched Deep Space Nine,
it was not my favorite. They were on a space station, not a ship.
but Worf later on joined them, and then Worf got married to Jadzia, but then Jadzia died, and then the symbiont went to another girl, and it became difficult.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's Worf, or was it Commander O'Brien?
No, well, Commander O'Brien was the first one from Enterprise to go. When they originally opened DS9, they left.
I gotta go.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna end, guys. I'm gonna go over to Blessed Life. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye. Do 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 do.